Hey friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Think about your fragrance collection like it's a bodybuilder. If you got too many things, don't pay attention to what's behind me. Put something up right now, okay, good. But if you got too many fragrances, it's like you got the bubble gut. You're like that bodybuilder who's absolutely jacked and roided to the gills, and yeah, it's sick. You look at it and you go, dang, but at the same time, it's a bit much sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Today we're taking a different approach. We're gonna go svelte. Perfection. We're talking the golden era where people were cut up. Not even Arnold style, but before that, man, the golden age. That's what we're doing. 12 fragrances, they give you a perfect collection. Nice. All of these are gonna be linked in the description, and we will begin with the one. Eau de Parfum, which is getting changed. Yeah, so Dolce & Gabbana is, they're getting back on the one train, the one bus, because they ditched it for a while, man. You know, they were coming out with nothing in the one line. They were hitting you with like a light blue flanker here and there, a special limited summer edition, and then giving us a whole bunch of K fragrances that nobody asked for. Nobody really wants to be in the K hole, okay? Cool. But now they're bringing it back. They're bringing back the one, but with a change. So according to the write-ups, I don't have the new one yet, obviously, but the one Eau de Parfum is being reimagined. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad thing necessarily, because they do say that they're gonna take that performance level and they're gonna jack it up and they're gonna keep the fragrance smelling familiar, whatever that means. I learned a long time ago not to trust fragrance brands with their fragrance write-ups. You know, they'll be like, hey, this is gonna smell amazing, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, and then you smell it, it smells like pee. But it is not the same thing. But if they're telling the truth, then they're gonna come out with a stronger version of this that smells similar. But for right now, I think the OG, gotta scoop it up, because it is legitimately one of the best smelling designer fragrances ever. It smells fantastic. It is that perfect blend of just the right amount of sweetness, not too much, not overdose, not headache inducing, not cloying, just the right amount of sweetness with warmth and spice. And also a nice little bit of tobacco in there as well. Amazing for fall and winter time. Great for date nights. Just a really nice evening fragrance in general. Also in spring and summer, frankly. The one drawback has always been the performance. It is not amazing. So if you're one of those guys that thinks everything has to be beast mode, like you live your life a quarter mile at a time, totally F that up. If your name is Vincent Diesel, then yeah, maybe it's not for you. But as long as you don't mind that and you let the fragrance breathe and do its thing, it is absolutely magnetic. You should have it. What do we do next? Well, let's go with something fresher. This one right here is Polo 67, which unfortunately for Ralph Lauren, that whole thing, that meme, it's not dying. 6'7". Yeah.
You want to know what time I woke up this morning?
What time?
Around 6'7".
6'7".
I can't imagine how many different people working at stores like Ulta and Sephora and places like that have like teenagers running in there and just doing the whole like, yeah, I can just imagine the brain rot happening in real time. Like they rush over to the counter, they're like, 6'7", 6'7". Ah! People working at Sephora are just like, I'm sorry. Blame Ralph Lauren. He is the cause. Polo 67 though, this stuff actually rips. This stuff smells awesome, super wearable, really fresh off the top. You've got a good amount of citrus in there, a little pineapple. Just grabs attention immediately. The performance, better than in the Eau de Toilette, has a nice modern woodiness as it dries down. This is that type of fragrance that you can do anything with. You basically you could throw this in your bag if you have one, throw it in your car, let it get destroyed by the sun. Don't actually do that. I was tricking you, huh? I was seeing if you're paying attention. Don't put it in your car. But you can wear this whenever you want. So it is that type of fragrance that if you did have like a gym bag and you're not worried about this busting, you can, throw it in there wherever you go, spray this thing on, it's gonna work. Love it. Also, it is not horrifically priced for what that's worth. I've been thinking about this a little bit, but designer brands are kind of like in a catch-22 right now. I'm gonna be super quick about this. You can let me know what you think. But for a long time, designer brands were like, they were it, right? People learned about fragrances by seeing a commercial or seeing it in a magazine or walking into a store and just seeing it on a shelf. And so designer brands really had things kind of on lockdown, and they're way more affordable and easier to find than niche fragrances. So that's why so many people were wearing them. You know, they're easy to wear, easy to find, blah, blah, blah. Well, as time has gone on, more and more people have learned, oh, they're discounters. Oh, they're clone brands. Oh, there's this, there's that. You know, people talk to each other now online. So designer brands, they're still growing up year over year, so it's not like they're necessarily panicking or anything. But they do have clone brands that are stepping in now, and you know, prices on designers just keep rising, and it starts to get to that point where you're like, does it break eventually, right? Like right now it's kind of bending, but at what point do people look at it and they go, this is just, I'm not doing it anymore? Is it when designer brands start charging $250 per new fragrance, like at that point, or is it $220, $215? Like, where is it? But I feel like there's gonna come a point where it snaps and people go like, nope, not doing it. Let's go next with, let's go with this, Le Male de Parfum. This one, you gotta have. It takes that original Le Male DNA and pulls it into the present. It does take it a different direction. Obviously, you can tell with that black bottle that this is more of a fall, winter time type of fragrance. Nice warm spiciness to it. Iris as well, and I'm a big fan of iris in pretty much any way, shape, or form that it can be used in a fragrance, so I'm cool with that. But it also has a little bit of that OG in there. You know, that sort of minty lavender vibe, that vanilla, it has it here as well. So to me, it's a perfect evolution of a classic fragrance that still works extremely well. Smells very modern, even though it does have that slight throwback vibe to it as well. Great. This next fragrance is massive. It is Raiz by Rabiat Prestige. It's a big honkin' bottle, 6 ounces. So 180 mils, and I bought this one from JOMASHOP. I think it was like 30 bucks or something like that. Great atomizer. Yeah, $29.99. That's before coupons. And I do have coupons for JOMASHOP, which I do use when I shop there. They only work though within the JOMASHOP app. There are also codes that I have for Gift Express, the Perfume Box, Fragflex, and a bunch of other stores. Those ones you can just use like normal. You don't have to use them in the app. But anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes, save yourself some money. So this one right here, this is a clone of Acqua di Gio Profondo. More so the original Acqua di Gio Profondo, the Eau de Parfum. So when you first spray this on, it's gonna remind you very much of that fragrance. It's very fresh, has kind of an herbal aspect to it, some minerality as well. But to me, it changes up a bit as it dries down because, again, off the top, super close to the Acqua di Gio. As it dries, it takes this additional sweetness on and kind of has more of a, I don't know, more of a slight sugary aspect to it than the Acqua di Gio does. So it becomes like Acqua di Gio Profondo with a twist. But the fact that you can get 6 ounces of this stuff for 30 bucks makes it just absurdly cheap. Essentially $5 per ounce. That's the cost. Which it doesn't work this way, but that means if it were a 90 ml size bottle, it'd be like $15. So 30 bucks for this, killer deal. Okay, iris again, and I'm gonna move past that, okay? So the last bit of iris for today. Dior Homme Intense. You have to have Dior Homme Intense. It just is what it is. And something that's kind of funny, I love this fragrance, okay? It's one of my favorite designer fragrances ever. It has a really nice, in my opinion, classic kind of creamy iris note. A little touch of sweetness off the top, extremely elegant, like a black tie kind of fragrance, more fall and winter time. But Fragrantica, they're doing their annual awards. And one of the categories is like women's favorite fragrances on men, which is to say, these are the fragrances women find sexiest on men. That's basically what it is. And as of right now, I think this is in like 2nd place. And I know that Fragrantica says only women can vote in this category, which maybe that's the case, but I will tell you, in the real world, and this is not anything against Dior Homme Intense, it does smell amazing and tons of women will tell you it smells amazing. But in the real world, if you're going solely on compliment factor, which is essentially what that is, Dior Homme Intense is not the 2nd best that's ever been made. Those votes are slightly sus. But in terms of just how good this stuff is, this is easily in the top 3. This is like one of the best designers ever made. I will not hear otherwise. From there, we hop on to this Offnon Linked Freedom. This is for men, the Homme version. So this right here is what I feel like is going to be more and more common heading into the next year or 2. And that is a fragrance clone that is not really a direct clone. So what this does is it takes YSL's Myself and then the Most Wanted Parfum and kind of blends those together. So it's gonna give you more of that freshness from the Myself side of things, that clean, you know, white floral kind of vibe. But then as it dries down, it gets more of the warmth and the sweetness from the Azzaro. Also, to an extent, could remind you a little Stronger With You sprinkled in there as well. So it's almost like a tribrid. And I feel like that's gonna become more and more popular because it gives another like leg up almost for these clone houses. Because now they can say, oh, well, you can use this as an alternative to that and that and that, but it's not the same as any of those. So you get something that's different, but the same. And I think that just appeals to a lot of people. So you're gonna see that more and more, where like each one of these clone houses probably is gonna be like, well, let's come up with our own hybrid. You know, we're gonna take this and mix it with this and take this and mix it with this. And it's gonna become like a bigger thing. That's my guess. And to be fair, this stuff is really, really well done. The quality is great. The next fragrance, Paradigme by Prada. Yes, Paradigme. This stuff right here is the type of fragrance that if you are really into fragrances and you have a lot of them, you've smelled a lot of them, then you may smell this and be like, yeah, like, not super exciting. But in terms of wearability, in terms of versatility and compliment factor, like we talked about back here, this stuff crushes. It is a little similar to Myself, YSL's Myself. So it kind of borrows some notes from that one and then changes some of the answers essentially. In the opening, it has a little more of a green aspect, which you can tell just by the color of the bottle. They're keying you in on that. So it's got bergamot in here, musk, benzoin, and geranium as well. And also some people have actually drawn comparisons between this and Polo 67 Eau de Parfum. Though side by side, they are pretty different, which is the same thing that happens when you spray this side by side with Myself, to be fair. This one is just very clean, classy, easy to wear, jack of all trades. Wear it any season, daytime or nighttime. It is not the type of fragrance that is gonna get people who are deeply invested in smelling tons of things very excited, but it does tick every single box. It may not be the most exciting release of all time, but if you just wanna get the job done, this will do it every time. Let us also speak of Burberry Hero, the Eau de Parfum. This stuff, in my opinion, the best in the entire Hero lineup. Like if you're gonna get just one, you should get this one. This stuff grows on you. It smells fantastic. It's got a lot of wood in there. So you have cedar, you have pine off the top, a little bit of incense, so a touch of smoke. And the benzoin that's in here gives it a really nice, subtle sweetness. You know, it's lightly woody as well. The benzoin carries through from the opening into the dry down. Another one that's very masculine, sexy, classy, top-notch stuff. And this whole line to me is a little bit interesting, Burberry Hero, because this one started in 2021, not the Eau de Parfum, this was 2022, but Hero Eau de Toilette 2021. And before that was Mr. Burberry. So Mr. Burberry right here has 4 different fragrances in the lineup. And when the first one came out, it was supposed to compete with Dior Sauvage. Francis Kershon was the perfumer of Mr. Burberry, and it had a lot of hype and just didn't really work. So they tried to keep on with that line. They did the Eau de Parfum, they did Indigo, and then with the last one, Element, they just got Jerome DiMarino to do it, so Kershon didn't even do that one. And then Burberry basically said, okay, screw all that stuff, and they went to make Hero. And at this point, Hero actually sells quite well and has established itself as one of the more popular men's fragrance lines out there. Like I said, if you're gonna get just one, this one. Possibly one of the biggest fragrance clones of 2025, Vulcan Feu is up next. This smells very similar to God of Fire, only way cheaper. And it gives you something extremely different smelling compared to all these other fragrances lined up right here. It's gonna be very tropical off the top. Great atomizer, by the way. French Avenue should put that atomizer on everything. It's like massive cloud. But yeah, super mango-y off the top, fresh, a little bit brisk and icy. Then as it dries down, has more of a woodiness that comes out. This one completely unisex. Pretty much anybody can pull it off. Big compliment puller. And as I said, one of the most popular cologne fragrances released in 2025, and for good reason. And you can't have a collection without this. It's Boss Bottled Absolute. Ooh, it's good. And I have to say this every single time that I bring this fragrance up. I'm sorry, I have to shame Hugo Boss. The cap weighs nothing. It's turbo cheap, but that's fine, whatever. This atomizer is junk garbage crap. Now it smells effing amazing, but the atomizer is just depressing. So let's just do a comparison here real quick, okay? Zoom in. Okay. Bottled Absolute. Vulcan Pho, little clone fragrance, right? Here we go. And then this one over here, the Rabiat Prestige, remember that one? Yep, let's do that one. Pretty good. The Dior, that's good, right? Not bad, pretty solid. Check the Prada. Not bad. Back to the Hugo. This room is pretty effed up now. Let's stand over here and see how it smells. I smelled worse. So Bottled Absolute, this stuff right here, a little bit similar to Carlisle by Parfums de Marly. Could also remind you a little bit of Red Tobacco by Mancera. It has an amazing patchouli note in here, which to me comes across woodsy and chocolatey at the same time. Super sexy, very masculine, absolutely more of a fall, winter time evening fragrance. And probably one that a lot of younger guys may not like quite as much, but I think that, you know, probably early 20s, mid 20s and up, you rock with that stuff pretty easy. We got two more, just a couple. We're gonna hit it once. They're very different. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givre, also the Most Wanted Parfum. The Most Wanted Parfum is one of those more modern style fragrances, very vanilla forward, but it has nice depth to it. It's got more of a woody aspect as well. It has nice red ginger in there also. So it's got this nice zinginess when you first spray it on, a little touch of freshness that leads you in to those warmer, sweeter notes. And then Eau Givre right here takes the Terre d'Hermès DNA and makes it summertime ready. It's got a lot of citron off the top. It's a little bit rindy when you first spray it on, so it's like a mix of sour and sweet and fresh. And then as it dries, it has a nice stripped away woodiness. You know, any of that earthiness that most of the earlier Terre d'Hermès fragrances have had, that gets kind of washed away with this one. And there we go. Those 12. Perfecto. Pretty much anything you want to do, something here will do it perfectly. Whether it's dates, work, evenings, casual use, whatever. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me here until the end. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.